Welcome to the Financial Power Play, the podcast where hockey meets real life money talk. I'm Brett from Uptown Wealth Management, here to help hockey families and professionals create a financial game plan that works on and off the ice. From the rink to retirement, this is your go-to for real stories, smart strategies, and trusted advice. Let's drop the puck and dive in. Hi, welcome to the Financial Power Play. I'm Brett Cranston, and I have a great guest today, Cary Kaplan. He's been leading this sports executive since 1995. He's the founder and president of Cosmos Sports that started in 2003. The company's been around for 20 years of operation, and it's an industry leader in ticket sales, sponsorship, marketing, franchise sales, training, and branding. So let's welcome Cary to the show. Hey, Cary, how's it going?
Hey, Brad, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So let's start off by your background. How did you get started in the sports world?
Yeah, I've been in sports my whole life since first of all, sports fan, played, realized at some point I was never good enough to play at a elite level. And when I graduated business school, wanted to go into sports. That my parents thought that was a crazy concept at the time to work in the sports business. But I worked for the Edmonton Oilers for 6 years, and then started my own company about 23 years ago now.
Yeah, and I see that you also, in this bio that you're, that Evan sent me over, it shows that you worked in a bunch of different places with U Sports, Skate Canada, Rugby Canada, Curling, CFL, Three Ice, a bunch of other places. How'd that all?
I haven't worked at all. They've been all customers of ours. So
Okay.
Cosmos Sports we're a kind of leading sports marketing firm in Canada. So I've done in between. I've had some kind of some key roles there. I ran the Hamilton Bulldogs in the American Hockey League, and then I ran the Brampton Beast in the East Coast Hockey League more recently. And then, and like you say, we've done a lot of work with U Sports, and we still do, and CHL, and lots of sports.
So how did you start Cosmos Sports? How did you get that going? And
I was coming out of worked for the Hamilton Bulldogs, which were owned by the Oilers, and I did that for 6 years and was president of the team in Hamilton, and then wanted to stay in sports and do more in the business, so started that to stay in helping sports organizations.
so then one of the main things that you guys, I guess, do is you are in the junior hockey space in terms of helping teams, I guess, transition between ownerships and other stuff. So what's the landscape of junior hockey now after minor hockey look like?
Yeah, it changed a lot. The NCAA, a lot of things have changed the last few years. I think the best thing is there's lots of options for kids and players, more than there ever. So I think the fact that you can play junior and then still go to U.S. college is great. And then I'm a big fan of U Sports, hockey, sports in general at a university level in Canada. University sports is excellent in Canada, so that's there's lots of options for kids, which is good. I always encourage people, as much as you can, if you're playing sports, get an education, because the playing at a high level, most parents think that their kids have a chance to play at a very high level, and it's a lottery. It's 1 in a million, or close to it. So I think education is, really.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm trying to do with my kid. The goal is to get him to school and hopefully get it paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's not the kids, it's the parents that it's tricky to, the over expectations. Yeah, if they can get paid and go to school, that should be the goal, not playing in the NHL. That should not be anybody's goal. So I think people get, more parents than kids get delusional about that.
For sure, especially where on my side. So when we talk junior hockey, are you talking? I know we talk junior hockey is a lot of there's OHL, there's the Ontario Junior Hockey League, which is like the Tier 2 Junior A. So are we talking do you do
all of it? We do a lot of junior all levels. So we work with OJHL in Ontario, and then BCHL, and right up till we do a lot of work with the CHL, and then there's some leagues in the States. It's a mishmash. There's so many different leagues out there, but yeah, we do.
Right. So what are like the main things that you do for most of these teams?
It depends. At the top level, we help them with their business. So we help them get more people to come to games and sponsorship. I think at the top level, they often focus too much on hockey and not enough on the fans. So I mean, I think we do a lot to say, okay, if the fan experience is important. And then we also help, as you were saying at the beginning, there's some teams that are for sale, and owners for different reasons want to transition out of that, and new people transactions as well. So kind of anything on the business side of the team.
All right. So how do how do junior hockey teams continue to go up in value? I maybe see it from my side. The OHL, I know, like, is a little bit bigger, but in terms of like the tier two junior A teams,
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of that's a most people that are in business misunderstand sports. They think it's like valued like a house or a business. If you buy a company, you're like, okay, did the company make money? That's the wrong question to ask about a sports team. It's not about did they make money. Teams, it's their scarcity. There's thousands of people that would love to own sports teams. So it's much more similar to you would never ask somebody, you bought a Ferrari, did you do that to make money? It would seem a silly question. Or did you buy did you donate money to the art gallery to make a profit? Somebody would say, no, that doesn't make any sense. Did you put your name on a university building, the John Smith building, to make a profit? Nope. Did you buy famous bottles of wine to make a profit? No. That's what a sports team is. It is not reminiscent of a traditional business. You buy a sports team or a hockey team because you love hockey. Sometimes it's about their kids. You may say your kids is one path to help your kids move forward, but it's not an investment in sports is not to make money. Investment in sports is for passion, community, developing players, all those kind of things. But it's not shouldn't be viewed like another type of business.
right? So how do if people are buying the teams for their passion, then how often do ownership change in these franchises? And
Well, a fair bit. I mean, it's a fair bit. It depends. Some groups buy it and they're that passionate and they keep it for decades and pass it on to their kids. But there's others that, again, especially if it's related to the family stuff and their kids are playing, those are the ones that want to sell more quickly. And it's not different. Junior A is not different from the NHL. You don't buy an NHL team to make money either. You buy it, save, so there's more zeros. But there's not a single owner in the NHL that bought a team to make money. And there's not, I haven't, and I've met many at all levels. It's the wrong, and some may think that way going in, but then you're not, again, you're sort of not the right investor. But to your point, the turnover is usually based on if that passion goes away, or it's a lot of work. It's still a lot of work. And we have one team right now that's for sale that we're working with, and there's just a couple of guys running it, and they've been doing it a long time, and they're tired. They're saying, look, I've run it, I've developed players, it's been great, but it's a lot of work. Depending on the level, you're working with billets and families and parents and player development, and you have to have a passion. But you said it correctly. I think when the passion goes away, that's often when people look to maybe do something else.
so you're talking about how a lot of some of the teams are bought because of people have their kids involved and they want to own a team to help their kid advance into hockey. Does that happen most often, or like most of like the tier two junior teams or OHL
A
teams?
lot. It's a lot. I'd say a third of all the hockey teams. I mean, you don't hear it talked about very often. I would say a third of all the junior A hockey teams in Canada are owned. So it's about a third because their kids are on the team or hoping to get on the team. So that's a big number. There's a lot of hockey teams. So it's not majority and it's not always the case, but it is. There's a lot of them.
Um, and then what is like the current value? Like if someone was looking to buy a team, what's the current value? Like you think of teams
Yeah,
you're
it
going
depends
for?
on the range. Like for OHL or Western Hockey League or QMJHL, those are between, the number of people fall off their seat when I say it, but the number is between 15 and $80 million. Like that's what a team. The top teams in the OHL you couldn't buy for. It might be $100 million. So and now then you go down to Junior A, and it's $2 to $3 million in Ontario, and then it's a little bit less. It's like buying a house in the sense that geography makes a difference. So more people want to own a team in southern Ontario than they do in, say, northern Ontario. So, but even in a remote, even somewhere remote, you're probably looking at $1 million Junior A, and then Junior B is less, and Junior C is, if someone's really passionate and doesn't care the level but wants to get in, you can buy a Junior C hockey team for $100,000. But again, that's kind of what a Junior C team would look like. So it drops, kind of really tears itself off.
Right. And then how does someone go about like buying a team? Do they is this where you guys come into play or?
Yeah, they can call us. I mean, I think the one thing that's tricky with teams is they don't like people to know they're for sale. It's not like, of course you have your house for sale, you want everybody to know about it. If you own a team in a city, you don't really want the players that are playing or sponsors or anybody to feel like the team's vulnerable and you're selling it. So a lot of it is done pretty discreetly. So you can obviously call a team directly, but that's kind of where we try and help out and say, okay, we've got teams are able to contact us. And similarly, if you're looking, as you say, you're looking to buy a team, like we say, okay, where do you want to be and what's your motivation and all those kind of things, and then we can hopefully match them up.
So is that where a lot of your business is coming from now? Is people are looking to people contact you to buy teams, or is your business more on the sponsorship side of it?
That's both. It's a mix. I think it's like anything the simple thing for our business is we're anything in sports. If you need help, usually besides playing the sport, if you need any type of help on any aspects of your business, building a website or doing your marketing or doing your tickets, as you said, or buying and selling teams. So anything about the business, it's a pretty big split. We're not, and it's all shapes and sizes. Like you said, it can be small. It's very small organizations that we help startups or do their website or do things like that. And we work with some really small, like we're talking about hockey, but we also work with Dodgeball Canada and triathlon and we archery and some sports that you may not be top of mind, but we've done and continue to do work with a lot of different sports.
Great. And so when someone comes to you looking to buy a place, do you help with financing, or do a lot of these guys come with like cash they have ready to?
Yeah, no, we don't. We assume that they are ready to buy. And there's no financing really, in the sense that if you're gonna buy, you have to have. I say if you're buying a team for, let's say $100,000, you should have $1 million. You can't. You don't at least like you don't want to lose sleep. It's not. This isn't a thing. Okay, I've saved up $100,000. I want to buy a hockey team. We won't even. That's a short conversation. We're going to say you have to have enough money. This is not your primary business, and again, you're not going to lose sleep if you lose $20,000 or lose something like that. So it's typically people that have done other things. There's you won't find people that say, hey, where did you make your money? Hockey teams. There's not one single person I've come across ever that's where they made it. Like not a single one that's where they made their significant money. They're way back, and people in the NFL, when like the NFL, there's some people that bought NFL teams in the 70s and made money that way because that league grew, but that's not the model. The model is you've already been successful doing something else. And this is this is your community of people that do different things with money that they've earned, and this would be for people that have some savings or some money they'd like to invest, or typically time and a passion for the sport. And yeah,
Right. So those people who are buying it, is what kind of revenues these teams generate coming in? Do they generate enough to cover the
well,
costs?
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. I'm saying it's a good question, but if you're asking that question, it's sort of like saying the person that goes into I don't know, Louis Vuitton and says how much is the purse, they're probably not going to buy it. It isn't a profit and loss question. Like, sure, you can, especially in leagues that are pay to play, like, kids are paying to play and you have a little bit of ticket sales. Can you make a modest profit? Yeah, but it's not when the accountants get involved. There's very few accountants that are pro their clients investing in a hockey team. So that's not it. You run the business as best you can, but you should not be. That's nice. That's a nice add-on, and it's fun to have more fans at the game. So if you own a team and it's great to get 1,000 people at the game rather than 100. It's a better atmosphere for the players. It's good for the kids, and everybody would like to make money as opposed to lose it. But that's priority 8. Priority, if it's in your top 2 priorities and sort of, hey, how much does this team make? We won't be engaged in with that group, because you're going in with the wrong. And that's, by the way, it's the same with the Ottawa Senators. Never made money, and they were sold for $1 billion. Like, it's not, and they didn't. Michael Andlauer bought them. I can tell you that wasn't his concern. There's no way that was his concern. Does this make money? That isn't. It'd be nice to have it, but it's not. Blue Jays didn't make money for 25 years. So I think the owners have to be, and it's exactly the same if you buy a junior C hockey team. You have to, again, it goes back to, there have to be other reasons. And lots of people are. So when the team goes for sale, there's lineups. So if a lot of people would hear this and think, oh, that's crazy. Who would want to do it? Thousands of people. So the one that's listening to this say that's a crazy. Well, there's thousands of people. And as I said, the Ottawa Senators were sold for $1 billion. There were 8 groups. There were 8 interested groups, all with at least half of them with significant capital to do that, and they were all looking at a business that didn't make money. Now the value of that team is now worth more than $1 billion. It's worth $1.3 billion. And you'd say, well, why is that? Did it start making money? Nope. It's because there's 20 people that want to buy it now instead of 8. And that would be the same at a junior B team in Parry Sound, or a junior C. That's the same thing, because there might be 3 different people that live in Parry Sound that would love to own the local. Hence, that's kind of what creates the value.
Right. So do most of these teams then end up losing money? So the people who buy them are like really passionate. They have another business that generates the revenue and covers the cost of the team. Is that?
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah. So if people are listening who want to buy, who are looking to buy a team, make sure you have enough revenue from somewhere else that's passionate.
That's right. Passion. You're not. That's right. It's not your primary business.
Yeah. Yeah. So. So that's probably why I see maybe a lot of teams change hands, especially in not the OHL but the lower junior leagues, because a lot of them are most of the people buying the teams, they're buying them for like their kids, or I know we're going back to that a little bit.
No, they're buying it like they're buying, like you buy other investments. I think some of them just buy it because they love it.
Yeah.
Some people that don't, it's not connected to their kids or playing, or they're buying it because they think this is a thing they want to do with their life. And again, you give a lot back to that community and kids that are playing.
Yes, this has been great information. I know there's a lot of people probably out there that think about buying hockey teams, and maybe they should think twice about it. As long as
well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say that, Brett, they shouldn't think about money. They're like, I think it's just, again, you say think twice, but people invest in many things that aren't about profits. And buying a hockey team, if you're, again, think twice if you do. You're right. Think twice if your idea is I want to buy a hockey team to make money. Yes, think twice, but don't think twice if you want to do it for all the other advantages that come with it. I mean, that, again, it depends on the person, right? As we said, person A will listen to this and say, well, that's a crazy idea. Person B will listen to this and say, wow, that's an exciting idea.
Yeah,
so it's the group, it's the subset, it's the B's that we tend to work with.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people out there that want to kind of give back to their communities and be involved in the sport, and this is one way they can get involved. So it's good. All right, did you have anything else to add, or?
No, I think that was great. I appreciate the opportunity, and no, it's great to talk to you about. Great to talk to somebody who's got also his passion for for sports and hockey, and so it's always good.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been great information. I don't think a lot of people understand how hockey teams are sold and bought and all that kind of stuff. So it was awesome. So thanks for coming on, Cary.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Financial Power Play. If this episode sparked something for you, be sure to subscribe, share it with your hockey crew, and leave a review. Want to talk about building your own financial playbook? Visit uptownwealthmanagement.com to book a free consultation. Until next time, stay focused, stay flexible, and keep playing your game.